Bonjour et bienvenue dans ma vidéo sur Emily à Paris. The first 5 episodes of season 4 of Emily in Paris have just dropped, and needless to say, Emily and her squad are the talk of town again. It is a show that heavily polarizes, not only because of the fashion. It seems that everybody has a lot of opinions about it. Some people love it, some hate it, and I have debated for the longest time whether or not I should do a video about the show, because I know, unpopular opinion, I am not a big fan of the fashion that we have seen so far in the previous seasons. I'm also not a big fan of the fashion Emily herself wears. I know, unpopular opinion, I already know what's going on in the comments right now, that people will complain about this, but this is my personal opinion. I'm more a fan of Sylvie because she not only shows us the true Parisian chic, it could be a bit of a stereotype, but what I really like about her is that she is a mature woman, she's a bold woman, she's very successful, and still she is sensual and sexy. If I could choose, I would actually do a spin-off, Sylvie à Paris or something like this, because I think she should be the true star of the show, but this is just my personal opinion. The reason why I decided to do a video in the end is because I wanted to kind of decode the outfits and also show you the vision of the costume designer, Marylin Fitoussi. I did a lot of research about her ideas for the characters, how she wanted to bring them to life. And what I really appreciated about her is that she mixes established brands and also younger French but also international brands and designers. Needless to say, these designers and brands, even the lesser known one, are already quite established, but still there is a mix, and I found it interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on selected outfits of these first 5 episodes of season 4, and I'm going to break down those outfits. I will also try to make this link of the vision of the costume designer and the characters themselves, and I will also show you what brands have been used. And just as a side note here, this is a non-sponsored video. I'm just sharing my personal opinion and my research here, and this is also only focusing on the fashion, nothing else. I'm not going to discuss whether I like the show. Maybe you already saw that in the introduction. I'm also not going to discuss the characters or the actors themselves. This is about the fashion only. And this video is also not a comprehensive list of every single outfit of each and every single actor in the show. This would go beyond the scope of this video. I made a personal selection of outfits where I thought they are interesting to discuss. We can learn more about the fashion and the background. And if there are some outfits which I didn't cover in this video, but you really like them or even dislike them, or you really want to discuss them, please feel free and drop a comment below, and we can continue the discussion there. And I said before, Fitoussi applies this approach of mixing established brands with younger independent designers, which I personally very much appreciate. And sometimes it actually reminded me of the work of Patricia Fields for Sex and the City. Some people may even say that this ridiculous style of Emily reminds them of Carrie Bradshaw. I don't know what you think about this. Let me know in the comments below. But coming back to this mix of designers, you will see very big brand names like Valentino, Balmain, Vivienne Westwood, mixed with smaller labels like Kevin Germanier, Patbo, and also Christopher Esber, for example, or Magda Butrym. So no matter what we think about the show itself, this is what makes it interesting in terms of fashion, and this is why I wanted to share this video with you. So let's not waste any more time and let's dive into the details and start with the main character, Emily. The first outfit that I would like to discuss is this monochrome yellow outfit. It already reflects this mix of big brands and younger, more independent labels. We could say it's kind of a color blocking or a blocking of yellow shades. And it's an interesting color choice because according to Fitoussi, yellow is not a preferred color of French people. It is kind of a difficult color, but she has worked with it before. Already in the previous seasons, we saw Emily in yellow, and she's coming back to that and created this full look in different shades of yellow. The whole outfit stands out probably because of the shape of the jacket. It's this yellow jacket by the label Poserie. They are known for working with high quality leather. And then Fitoussi paired it with a cotton blouse by the label by Marlene Birger. She said she liked the contrast of this big shape and also this sensual blouse, as she called it. And the more outfits I'm going to decode, the more we will see that she actually also likes to play with the shapes. The skirt is by Isabelle Marant, who is very famous for her Parisian chic. She is kind of like a Parisian institution, we could say. And this bag with the fringes is by Silvia Cerasi. It's also quite an interesting detail. And then Fitoussi paired it with the signature stockings in the sandals. Whether we like it or not, it has become a signature characteristic of Emily's style. These stockings in yellow and black are by Armani, and these platform sandals are by Sergio Rossi. It already reminds me of an outfit which I will come back to later. So just remember this pattern and the stockings in yellow and black. We are going to discuss this in a bit as well. What you can see during those first 5 episodes of season 4 is that Emily's fashion style has changed a bit, or is changing also during that season. In an interview, Fitoussi also explained that she wanted to reflect Emily's character development in Paris also in her clothes, because she has been there for quite a while now and she has also changed, and so has her style. So up until now, the style of Emily has been very much influenced by the French New Wave, by icons like Françoise Hardy, and also by the swinging 60s in London, by icons like Twiggy, for example. And we can see this in this yellow outfit, also in the green outfit with the pink cardigan and also the clunky shoes. We can see the references. And another reference is also this blouse by the label La Double J. I never know if I say this name correctly, but this is a Milan-based brand founded by American creative J.J. Martin, and this brand is known for their bold prints, also for their community. I personally really like it. As you can see, I very much like prints, and here it takes up this idea of the 60s. It could even be 70s, and later on Emily also wears a matching cape by the same brand to also reflect not only the 60s and 70s with the print, but also with the shape. And Emily is not the only one wearing Double J. Also Sophia, Camille's girlfriend, wears a Double J ensemble when they go furniture shopping at the flea market. So we've seen this typical Emily, what we kind of expected, and now I want to show you a stark contrast. It's this ensemble by Missoni. It's also special for Fitoussi because she says very often she doesn't like to do full looks by one brand, but this is a skirt and top combination by Missoni. I think it looks very nice. It has a very nice shape, and it also gives us a different perspective of the character. She definitely looks more mature. This is what Fitoussi actually wanted to achieve with this. And then she kind of breaks it up with this coat, this big coat with this movement, and you will see Fitoussi likes to play with these shapes. We already saw this with this yellow ensemble that she put together, and I found it kind of funny because we will see how much thought also goes into the outfits. Fitoussi said she picked that coat because it shows Emily's animalistic side, because this is also the coat that she wears when she meets up with Gabrielle, who she is currently hunting down. So this is quite funny that she made this point. So now we have this very sexy combination by Missoni, I would say, plus this animalistic coat. And then Fitoussi broke it up with a bright red small boots. This is something where I have to say this is again not really my style. I know this is this signature Emily in Paris. She wears these little boots, and here they are by Carolina Herrera. And then she also paired it with this little bag in red, and maybe you remember the style from my video about Delvaux. Delvaux is a luxury bag manufacturer from Belgium. And in my video, I actually said that they have recently been bought by a very big group, and that I assume that they are going to start the influencer campaign soon, that they will be in shows, and that I hoped actually that they would preserve their brand DNA. Obviously, I was kind of right. Right after that video, there were multiple influencer campaigns, and now we see Delvaux bags at Emily in Paris. Obviously, they also want to attract another audience, and this is something that you will see throughout the whole season, and I have to say it is a bit much. There's so much product placement. They go to a Baccarat event, so also Baccarat, which is known for luxury, but maybe they needed a twist to attract the younger audience. They are all over. Then there's also Agostino Spada, and there are many, many more, and I'm sure also the other 5 episodes will be full of product placement. You can see how big this show has become. And whether we like it or not, obviously it has become an important marketing tool where companies want to put dollars behind because they just see some potential. Already before season 4 came out, a lot of articles wrote about how Emily's style will change, that she will become more mature, more sensual, more sexy, maybe even more French. And this is something that Fitoussi also said. She said that now Emily has been in Paris for quite some time. She was also kind of inspired by her boss Sylvie. That may be good for her, maybe the style is improving. And Fitoussi also said she wanted to show that Emily has finally integrated more into Parisian culture. Which in general, okay, fine, but obviously it's more expressed only through the clothes, that she has integrated more in Paris, because what I personally find really interesting is that this person comes from America to Paris. She has now spent quite a significant amount of time in the city, and her French is still bad or non-existent. This is a personal thing that I always find very surprising. But as I said before, I'm not here to criticize the show. Let's go back to the fashion. Obviously, in terms of fashion, she takes inspiration maybe from Sylvie, maybe also from her friend Camille, or who she is surrounded by. And maybe they also want to show that she's not this American who is new to the city, but she has lived there for a while. Because when Emily came, she had to stand out. In a way, I kind of understand that she had to look crazy because they wanted to show she's new to this city. She does not know anything about it. There's a huge culture shock for both sides when they meet, and this was also reflected in the fashion. Maybe this is an excuse for her style, and now the longer she stays in France, she also learns more about fashion and culture. The next outfit reflecting this maturity, sensuality is the Balmain outfit, this dress with the graphic flowers. I'm not sure, it may be latex, I don't really know what is the material, but what is interesting about this dress is that it actually was from the collection that was partially stolen before the fashion show. And Fitoussi said in an interview that she really wanted to have this dress for the show, so she kept pestering Balmain and Olivier Rousteing for it, and the brand actually made the bolero in record time for the show. And Balmain is a brand that you are going to see quite a bit on the show. For example, Mindy wears this mint green jacket. Also this outfit that her boyfriend Nicolas gives her to look a bit more appropriate for his rich family is Balmain. So we can see that the brand's also distributed across the characters. And coming back to Emily's outfit, she has the wet hair and also this very bold makeup. I have to say the hair is okay, the makeup was a bit too much for me, and she also looked really pale in the face, but I'm not a makeup artist. Maybe there are some makeup artists among you and you can explain that look more, or you can tell me why you like it or dislike it. And what I actually liked most about this outfit is this small black bag, which you can hardly notice during the episode. It's a bag by the Italian label GCDS, and it looks like a landline phone. And I find this funny because I grew up with landline phones, so in general I find this really cute. But what I find funny is that we are talking here about a character who probably doesn't even know anymore what a landline phone looks like. She uses her smartphone all the time to work on social media, but then she carries this landline phone. And another look which caught my attention was this cape by Antik Batik, and then we are going to see again this mix of big brands and smaller labels. I would like to discuss the cape a bit later. I would like to come back first to the shape, because Fitoussi says that this shape of this total look was inspired by Les Parisiennes. This is a series of cartoons or illustrations and books by Edmond Kiraz, an Egyptian-born French-Armenian illustrator, painter and cartoonist. And when we take off that cape and disassemble the look, the first thing you probably notice is this skirt with these signature fringes and the flowers. And this is by Sixdo, a label by Vietnamese designer Do Man Trung. I hope I said this name correctly. Fitoussi said she discovered him on Instagram, and then he sent 5 different outfit ideas for the show. And one is also on the poster. You can see these 3D flowers in pink. There was also another outfit where Emily wears this top with these 3D flowers, which I personally found quite interesting. Maybe not the total look, but the top I found quite interesting. And when we come back to this skirt, what they did is that they took off the flowers when they closed the cape. So it still gave a nice shape, and you also had these fringes at the bottom. Fitoussi also said this was a reference to the Baba Baba. I don't know if you know this show, that it makes her look a bit like cotton candy was another reference. And then she paired it with this jumper by Sonia Rykiel. If you look closer, you immediately get the link, because she was famous for the knits, for the stripes, and these stripes are in different sizes, which also makes it quite flattering. Again, I'm not sure if I would have put the outfit together that way, but this is the choice of the stylist. And the cape that I like so much is by Antik Batik, which is a French label founded by Gabriela Cortese in the early 1990s. And she said that she wanted to incorporate the DNA of the global traveler in her designs, and this is very clear. You can see a lot of Indian block prints, for example, also embroideries that look, today we would say boho chic. I don't really like that term, but a lot of people refer to it like this. So this is definitely an item that I liked most. And then here comes the Fitoussi mix, because she added a bag by a lesser known label. This label is called Incxnnue, and this bag in this interesting shape is actually 3D printed, and the material is grape skin. And I find this particularly interesting because at the moment there's a lot of discussion on alternatives to leather, and it's nice to see also a smaller label applying a sustainable approach. And coming back to Fitoussi's argument about Emily having integrated more into Parisian culture, maybe the stripes also stand for this, because I probably don't need to tell you that stripes are very much French. I talked about this in my videos about Coco Chanel. I also mentioned this in my video about the Alma bag, about the pattern in beige or white and red. So this is very much a French thing, and I think this may be the reason why we see Emily in striped outfits that much in season 4. There's, for example, this suit in beige or white and red that she wears at Roland Garros. Then she also wears the button-down shirt in purple, which she wears with the sleeveless jumper. So I think these stripes are definitely a hint to this character development, that she has not only arrived in Paris, but she's now very much part of the Parisian culture scene. And another thing that I realized about Emily's style is that she now wears a lot of pantsuits. I already mentioned the pantsuit at the tennis match before, this white and red striped pantsuit. And then we also have another version in eclectic blue that we saw at Monet's house in Giverny. And probably they want to show that Emily is maturing as a character. It might be also a reference of her boss Sylvie, who has already worn these pantsuits in the previous seasons. I personally have to say I'm not a big fan of pantsuits, and also in the context of maturing, because I personally don't really like them. It's very easy to not look great in a pantsuit, and sometimes I feel that women have to dress up like men in pantsuits. So I personally don't like to wear them. I only wear them if they have a really interesting cut or pattern or color. This is a personal choice. I don't know about you. Do you like wearing pantsuits or not? Let me know in the comments below. I already mentioned some fashion icons before who Fitoussi used to influence or shape Emily's style, and she also said that a big source of inspiration was actually Audrey Hepburn. I don't find this surprising. A lot of people think that there are similarities between Lily Collins and Audrey Hepburn. Again, I'm only focusing on the fashion. I let you judge if this is true or not. But Fitoussi said that Audrey Hepburn already in the previous seasons was quite a big influence, and in this season you can see it at the Baccarat event. Emily wears this ensemble by Nina Ricci. The hat is also by Nina Ricci. You can buy that, but the ensemble itself was a bespoke creation for the show, and it's in black and white. I think this is also because the theme was black and white at the ball, and a lot of people immediately made the link, and also Fitoussi confirmed this, that this is a reference to Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady, to her famous or iconic outfit that she wore in Escort. I have to say, when I looked at that outfit, I did not really get Audrey Hepburn. There's something else going on. It's very graphic, very geometric for me, Audrey Hepburn, and especially that outfit from Escort at My Fair Lady is a bit more romantic. So yes, it's black and white, but for me this is not enough to justify Audrey Hepburn. I can't pinpoint it yet what it is. If I then come up with the reference that I have in mind, I will add it on my website in the article. And while we still have to wait for the remaining 5 episodes, there was a brief teaser at the end of the first 5 episodes, and we can see that Emily is gonna go skiing, and the outfit, this outfit in the brown tones, is yet another reference to Audrey Hepburn. We can clearly see that. So obviously Fitoussi really wanted to make a point. She really wanted to establish a link between Audrey Hepburn and Lily Collins, or Emily in Paris. And the last element of Emily's outfits I would like to discuss is the coats. I find them quite interesting. This time we get a different feel of Paris, also with these big and interesting coats. So this one is by Andrew, I hope I said this name correctly. It's black and white. It has interesting details, especially these large Victorian style buttons. What was actually even more interesting was the outfit underneath this coat, because it is an ensemble in black and yellow. So you may remember at the beginning of the video I said, please bear this in mind, there's this black and yellow reference, and here we have it again. So what is this reference? It's a reference to the movie Clueless and the main character Cher. She wears a black and yellow outfit to school. Now I also kind of understand the stockings, where they are coming from, because maybe Fitoussi wanted to establish a link between Emily in Paris and Cher in Clueless. And Emily in this season obviously really likes black and white coats, because there is this Tom Brown coat from the fall 2023 collection, which she wears on a walk around Paris with Gabriel. Okay, now enough talk about Emily's outfits. Let's move over to Sylvie, my favorite fashion character of the show. I immediately spotted this black dress with this very interesting neckline. At first I was like, is it Schiaparelli? Because I have seen some Schiaparelli in the previous seasons, but it is not. It is Christopher Esber. This is an Australian designer. And I have to admit, I did some research if the dress is still online. Unfortunately, of course, it's sold out everywhere, but I really like this style of the dress. Christopher Esber is also known for his cuts and shapes. And if you're interested, again, this is non-sponsored, but maybe you like the dress as much as I do, there are 2 dresses with similar references, so maybe this is an alternative that you can choose. And Sylvie wears another stunning dress by Maison Rabi Kairousse. He is a Lebanese-born designer who moved to Paris when he was 16 to study at the Chambre syndicale de la couture parisienne. He then worked in Paris, but then also moved back to Lebanon, to Beirut, where he built a name in evening gowns and wedding gowns. And in 2008, he moved back to Paris, and since 2009, he has been a guest designer for the Chambre syndicale de la haute couture. And I just like this dress because, yes, it might not be the most innovative dress, or the shape might be very conventional or classic, but this is what Sylvie is. She's very classic, she's very Parisian, and I just think this is a very, very beautiful design. For this video, I only have those 2 outfits by Sylvie. I hope that in the coming 5 episodes there will be more outfits of Sylvie that I could potentially discuss later. And what I also wanted to mention here is that Yves Saint Laurent or Saint Laurent heavily sponsored the show also, because I think every single bag that Sylvie was carrying in the show so far in these 5 episodes of season 4 was Yves Saint Laurent. So this is an interesting detail to notice here about product placement as well. Let's move on to Mindy. She is joyful, outrageous, very bold, and I think the clothes should reflect this. Sometimes it's so crazy that I don't really know if anybody would really wear this, but I think this is this whole character development. And what I like about the character is that she's a woman who does what she wants and wears what she wants and doesn't really care what other people think. And whether we like her style or not, this is something that we can learn from this character. And what we also need to do with her outfits, we need to take a closer look and dissect her outfits, because at first sight they are really bold, they are very outrageous, and it's a lot, you don't even see the details, but I found some items that I actually really liked. And the first outfit that I immediately noticed was this pink outfit that she wore on stage when she was singing Don't Go Breaking My Heart. And I didn't even have to Google, I immediately saw it and I knew this is Kevin Germanier. Maybe you haven't heard about the name, but I'm sure you have seen his designs, especially if you have followed the Olympics, because he was behind the costumes for the closing ceremony of the Olympics. there was this robot-like design with 20,000 beads on it in gold, in this gold color. And there was also this very interesting design that he did that was floating in the air with a piano. So I'm sure you have all seen these pictures. And Kevin Germanier is a graduate of Central St. Martin's and founded his namesake label. And what I appreciate about him is also his approach of using upcycled materials. And I think the designs are really fun. Whether you can wear every single thing that he creates, I'm not sure, but I like this bridging of fashion and art that he does. And we also see another Kevin Germanier design on Mindy when she wears this purple ensemble with this interesting belt. By the way, I could not track down the belt yet. If anybody of you knows where the belt is from, I would appreciate a comment below. But coming back to Kevin Germanier, with this outfit, Mindy carries his amethyst bag in these purple and blue colors, which I also found quite nice. And needless to say, Mindy loves prints. So we see her in this Zimmermann dress. Zimmermann is an Australian-based label. And it's, again, you have to kind of dissect this whole outfit, because at first you only see this turquoise or blue cap and you only focus on that and you kind of don't really see the dress and the print. And another dress that I really like, but I almost didn't notice it because of this overload of outfits and colors in these first scenes, or in general Mindy's outfits, is this printed dress by Patbo. This is a Brazilian brand founded by Patrizia Bonaldi, and she comes from a region in Brazil where she said when she was a child it was quite difficult to get fashion items or outfits, so she relied on sewing outfits herself. Her mother taught her the craft, and then after a few detours she also studied law. She came back to fashion. She started with bespoke creations, and then in 2002 she founded Patbo, and now the label is known for these bold prints and dresses. And what I also appreciate is that she collaborates with local artisans, and that she also opened a school where she teaches craftsmanship to the local artisans. I guess a lot of you have waited for Camille's outfits. She is more avant-garde, more edgy, a bit more sharp. For me, also typically Parisian, a younger version of Sylvie. But I have to say, in these first 5 episodes of season 4, I haven't seen that many interesting outfits. There's this one Kate Barton ensemble with this bow tie in front in silver, I don't know what it is, from spring 2024. Then there was also this animal print ensemble by Celine with the Celine bag. For me, so far, it was not that interesting. Maybe there are more interesting outfits to come in the next 5 episodes. But one character I absolutely want to mention here before I finish this video is Julien, because I really like his colorful outfit choices. Usually I'm not a big fan of cardigans, but somehow he manages to pull them off. There are 2 examples. One is this pink one by Drôle de Monsieur, and then also this other one in cream and blue. It kind of looks like a tile pattern. It's also by Drôle de Monsieur. So I really like those. And what I actually liked most is this bomber jacket, again by Isabelle Marant, who I mentioned before, this Parisian institution. I really like the colors. I like that pattern. I think it's a really, really cool jacket. And Julien is just really fun to look at, not only because of his character, but also because of the fashion that he shows us. And now it's all about you. I really look forward to the discussion. What do you think about the fashion of Emily in Paris? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Who is your favorite character, or are you already annoyed because it's Emily in Paris everywhere? Just let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, as always, I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, because it really helps me to create this content for you. If you want to read more fashion-related articles, you can head over to thepinklookbook.com, and you can also check out my fashion label Pelagona. And if you enjoyed this virtual trip to Paris, you may want to watch my other video about another French icon, about the Louis Vuitton Alma bag. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and see you soon.